Hello everybody, it's Donna here from Embrace the Moon Tarot, and I am just going to make this a very quick intro and say that I'm really sorry that I haven't been doing the Tarotscopes lately, but all the feelings and the energy that has been available, I've been feeling all of them. Or at least I feel like I have been. So I've been kind of making myself a little bit of a hermit, but let's see if I can get back into the swing of these and start with February's reading. So let's begin. Hello Virgo, and welcome to February 2018 reading. I am just focusing on mind, body, heart, and soul for this particular reading for February 2018. Not sure if I said that yet or not. And I just wanted to say that I seem to be tapping into a lot of people who are going through some sort of major transformation or transition, and you are not alone. And this reading seems to be following quite a bit of what I've already been kind of doing for many of the other signs. So at any rate, right away I was getting a feeling of just tired of where you're at. While I was shuffling and trying to tap into your energy, I just got this overall feeling of just being tired of whatever the status quo is right now. Ready for a change, and so much so that you're ready to be the one to make the change. And so if you haven't gotten to that point yet, as you get into the beginning of February, and I really feel like for the bulk of you, if not every single one of you, you're going to be beginning February with this feeling of, okay, I don't care why I'm at this point, I'm going to make a change. And this is sort of reflective in the mind card. So what's on the mind? We have the Eight of Swords in reverse, and it really speaks of that feeling a bit trapped for whatever reason prior to this, and getting to the point where you don't care why you felt the way you were, what the precursor conditions were that put you in that position, how much part of it that you had and how much of it was out of your control. You've gotten to a point though that you don't care. You don't care what the outlying perimeters of the position is that surrounds you. You're just ready to, at whatever it takes, to work your way through. So you just kind of had this like a little bit of fire that's kind of started to ignite, and it's going to happen somewhere in the beginning of February. And it's not so much that you're going to know exactly what you want to do. There's not going to be a moment of this aha, great clarity, and you know exactly what direction you're supposed to go. It's just kind of one of those things where you'll claw your way out of the dark until you see the light. It doesn't matter what it takes. You're just going to make it happen. And that's going to be the bulk of the beginning of February. Just you get to that point where you're just tired of being surrounded by whatever it is that makes you feel trapped. You're going to do whatever it takes to get out of that. In body, we have Two of Wands. And I just feel that that's kind of running some of that same theme that we get from the mind as far as the decision making. And the Two of Wands is in reverse, and usually Two of Wands is you've made up your mind, and you've already kind of made a choice, and you've grabbed it, and you're going in a direction, you're preparing to go in a direction. And again, whatever circumstances you're finding yourself in February, it's not that you're going to have great clarity that you know what way you're supposed to go. You're just so tired of the status quo as it is right now that you will make a choice, kind of manifest one, so that you can choose it and then you can go after it. And this is going to be, again, this is going to come in correlation with the Eight of Swords that's going to be in existence in the beginning of February. And the Eight of Swords is going to be the beginning of it, and it's going to happen first. And then after that, somewhere towards, as this takes place and kind of takes seed and precedence in your mind, following that is going to be doing what it takes, manifesting those decisions. So if options and choices and decisions don't bring themselves to you, you're going to create them. You're going to do what it takes to manifest them, because you're just, like I said, you're tired of the status quo. And so as this one takes hold, this one will start to kind of begin to percolate and present itself as far as energy is concerned. And just, like I said, you'll do whatever it takes. And if you don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 options in front of you, or any single option, if you don't even have one option, there's going to become a point in time where you'll be like, all right, no one's offering me options, so I'm just going to fucking create one. So that's the energy that I see coming somewhere around the end of the first week of February and a little bit after that for the bulk of you. obviously leeway since this is a general reading. In the heart, relationship, love, matters of the heart, we have Two of Pentacles. And for the most part, I don't feel that this is a specific relationship as much as a relationship with yourself, with your heart. So your emotional status. I get this overall sense that you'll be trying to balance out things that will allow you to be true to what you feel feeds you on an emotional level. So how as you progress through this in February, as far as breaking out of what makes you feel trapped, creating options if there are no other options available to you, in the process of that, you'll be contemplating those things that make you feel more emotionally stable, more emotionally well-rounded, and just feel like you can fulfill that which makes your heart feel better versus feeling trapped. And so a lot of these decisions in the process of going through this, you'll be kind of focusing on your heart's bliss, making sure that you're nurturing yourself. And I don't want to use the coin of phrase self-love, but there's going to be a little bit of that reflected in this because of the amount of attention you'll be giving to the decisions that you make that make you feel better, make you feel lighter, make you feel not quite as down in general, like I said, not quite as stressed or trapped as you had been feeling. So this is just kind of a self-love, and the emotional status as you go through February, you'll be able to tap into, it'll be available for you to tap into those self-love vibrations and energies that you can make reflect in the decisions that you make that help you make the decisions, make those choices, create those options if none exist, and get out of that trapped feeling. Spiritually, we have the High Priestess, and this is just connections. I think as you tap into that self-love and creating the decisions, creating the pathways that don't exist because you're tired of them waiting, you'll be able to tap into some of those connections that create clarity, that'll have clarity come. So as you go down the path, it's kind of like when you're walking in the direction where you perceive there could be some light, but you can't really see it. But the more you walk in that direction, the light gets brighter and brighter. You'll have moments, especially towards the end, and most especially if you are able to focus some of that self-love to be resonated in the decisions and choices that you make. The more you progress down that pathway and that journey, the more you'll be able to tap into clarity as a result of it, because they do kind of nurture and feed one another. So the more you tap into self-love and allowing it to reflect in the decisions that you make, the more you tap into that, the more you'll increase the clarity, and the clarity will just get bigger and bigger, and you'll be able to tap into less self-doubt when you make these decisions and more knowing when you come upon them. So I went ahead and pulled a card that was a bit of a roundup card to give you a little bit of extra, and I did already pull that as well. And we have manifestation, and I find it really interesting that this is the card that I pulled, and I had it upside down. But I find it really interesting because as I was talking about the Two of Wands, I actually made the comment of manifesting. So if you don't have an option, we usually think of options as having a choice between two things, at the very least, between two things. And when I was, speaking about that Two of Wands reversed, I was kind of tapping into that idea of if you don't even have two, if you don't even have one, you've somewhere in the beginning half of February, you're going to come to a point where you're not going to care and to wait for even one. You're going to manifest your own option. So instead of waiting for a path to suddenly appear, you're going to just start creating it yourself. You're going to have whatever it takes to cut down the weeds or the trees, or lay down the foundation that allow you to walk forward on that path. And as I said, I just find it really interesting that I actually used the phrase manifestation, and this is the card for the month. This is what's going to be sort of your turn of phrase that you can keep telling you as you progress through February, especially when you get to those moments where you feel that even though you are doing what it takes to kind of break away and create that path, and then you have those moments of kind of self-doubt, because we all get those, even when we feel very certain that we know the answer, we know the key, we know the path, we kind of get flooded on with the occasional, but do I really know what I think? Do I really know what I'm supposed to be doing? So in those moments of those tiny little, voices in the back of our head that kind of nibbles away at us, you can kind of reflect on this concept of just manifesting and knowing that we do have free will. We do manifest our own destinies. We do manifest the direction by the choices that we make. Even if we're not giving a specific option, when we create, we're still making a choice, and we're making a choice to choose ourselves and to move forward with whatever that choice is and wherever it can take us. And as long when we're down that path, if we discover once we're down there that that's not the right one, we can choose to turn around. We can choose to another choice. We can choose to manifest something different. But manifestation is your turn of phrase for this month. So please let it help you and guide you and give you that encouragement that you need as you progress through February and break free from those, whatever it is that kind of makes you feel trapped. All right, Virgo, that is all I have for you for this month. I hope it ends up being a wonderful February for you, and I hope I see you in the next one.